and then you wanted to see how Erling Haaland responds. Maybe not the supporting cast that Kylian Mbappe has or Lionel Messi may have, but
could have represented England. Was it an option? Was it a decision, or was it easy to?
I lived there for 3.5, 4 years, and I lived in Norway for such a long time, so then it was natural for me to choose Norway. You never know how it would be if maybe my father played longer in England or whatever. Maybe I would be English. I don't know. But yeah, I'm Norwegian and I'm proud of it.
The biggest story at the 2026 World Cup might not be one of the usual favorites. While most fans expected the spotlight to stay on football's traditional powerhouses, another team has quietly stepped into the conversation, and one player is making sure nobody can ignore it. Every match seems to add another chapter to a growing story.
Who are you more scared of, your dad or Pep?
Good question. Sometimes Pep is a bit scary, I have to say. But again, my father also can be a bit scary. But anyways, this is something I like. I like when Pep shouts at me because he tries to get something in my brain that he don't think I have. So I like it. So I'm not complaining at all. He just wants to make me a better footballer. So I'm not complaining at all. And my father and me, we argue a lot. We have a lot of good moments together, so I'm not complaining there either.
And the rest of the tournament could look very different if this pace continues. The 2026 World Cup is already delivering huge moments, and Erling Haaland has wasted no time making his mark. Just 29 minutes into Norway's match against Iraq, he found the net. Before halftime, in the 42nd minute, he scored again. Norway cruised to a 4-1 victory, and Haaland added even more to an incredible international record with 57 goals in just 51 appearances.
I don't know. I think it's my speciality to score goals. It's like many other things. I'm just really good at scoring goals, and I'm quite lucky. I don't know what I'm doing, but yeah, I mean, that's just how it is.
Those numbers are remarkable on their own, but what makes this even more fascinating is that Norway has returned to the World Cup after a 28-year absence with one of the most dangerous forwards in the game. France, Brazil, and Argentina spent years preparing to battle each other because they expected the usual competition. Very few people expected Norway to arrive looking this dangerous. By the end of the group stage, every remaining team could be looking at Norway in a completely different way.
Brother, do you have any idea how lucky the world is that Erling Haaland plays for Norway? This Norwegian Viking goal-scoring machine robot, whatever you want to call him, was born in Leeds, England, and could have possibly played for England. Brother, this man is out here not just scoring one goal, where he bangs it first time while he's sliding on one knee, banging it to the top right bins. But this man today scores a brace back-to-back games by using a crane kick technique that I have never in my life seen before watching football. That doesn't go straight into the net. But brother, he used that technique to chip the ball. And even though it is his first World Cup and just scored 4 goals in 2 games, this man does not even celebrate, bro. This man is emotionless, just standing there in front of his opponent, looking menacingly at the crowd, like a robot. I ain't gonna lie, just because of Erling Haaland alone, brother, Norway have a shot at winning the World Cup.
To understand why Haaland has become such a massive part of this tournament, you have to look back at the journey that brought Norway here. Go all the way back to June 1998 inches Marseille, where Norway faced Italy in the round of 16. Italy won 1-0, ending Norway's run. At the time, almost nobody realized that defeat would become the country's last World Cup match for nearly 3 decades. For almost an entire generation, the World Cup felt like something Norway watched instead of played in. While other countries kept building new football memories on the biggest stage, Norway's supporters were left remembering a team from another era, wondering if they would ever see their nation return. Norway's World Cup history is surprisingly short. Before 2026, they had only qualified 4 times in total: 1938, 1994, 1998, and now 2026. Despite those limited appearances, the 1,998 squad achieved something that still stands out today. During that tournament, Norway defeated the reigning world champions Brazil by a 2-1 score. Even more remarkable, Norway has never lost to Brazil in an official meeting, recording 2 victories and 2 draws. That squad featured well-known names like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Tore Andre Flaw, and Henning Berg.
Your best friend in football?
I have a lot, but if I take a teammate, it's Jack.
If you weren't a footballer, what would you be?
Either a welder or a farmer.
And what would be your go-to karaoke song?
My own song.
The best player you've played with?
I think I have to say Kevin De Bruyne.
Who would play Erling Haaland in the film Erling Haaland?
What?
Who would be the actor who would play you in the film of your life?
I don't know.
Okay.
No idea.
Which player were you in the playground?
A lot of different ones, to be honest. Depend on the mood of the day.
And finally, if you describe Erling Haaland in one word, what would it be?
Relaxed.
For a brief period, Norway climbed as high as 2nd in the FIFA World Rankings, an incredible achievement for a country with a population of around 5 million. They were competing with football's biggest nations and proving they belonged among the elite. Then everything changed. After Euro 2000, Norway entered a long stretch without qualifying for another major international tournament. World Cup after World Cup passed by, followed by European Championships, with the national team always falling short. Years turned into decades, and the wait only became more painful for supporters who kept hoping the next campaign would finally end the drought. By the time Norway finally returned to the World Cup, the country had spent nearly 3 decades away from football's biggest stage. Fans who were children during the 1998 tournament had grown into adults, and many younger supporters had never experienced seeing Norway compete at a World Cup. For years, that memorable 1,998 squad seemed like it would remain the nation's last great chapter, while what followed became a story filled with disappointment, missed opportunities, and difficult qualification campaigns. The frustrating part of Norway's story is that the team never stopped chasing a return to the biggest tournaments. Every qualification campaign brought fresh hope, a talented squad, and the feeling that this time would finally be different. Yet, whenever they got close, another painful setback seemed to appear. During the Euro 2020 qualification playoffs, Norway stood just 1 victory away from ending years of disappointment. Instead, Serbia won after extra time, and the dream disappeared once again. In the 2022 World Cup qualifiers, Norway faced a challenging group featuring the Netherlands, Turkey, and Montenegro. Even with several impressive performances, they finished 3rd instead of claiming one of the top 2 spots, ending another campaign earlier than they had hoped. The disappointment continued during Euro 2024 qualifying. Across 8 matches, Norway managed only 3 victories and suffered 2 defeats against Spain. The hardest moment came against Scotland. Norway looked set for a huge result before conceding twice in the closing minutes, turning what could have been a memorable night into another heartbreaking defeat. In just a matter of moments, excitement became frustration, and another opportunity slipped away. What made those failures even more difficult to accept was the quality already inside the squad. Martin Odegaard had become Arsenal's captain and one of the Premier League's standout midfielders. Alexander Sørloth was coming off an outstanding La Liga season, finishing 2nd in the scoring charts behind Artem Dovbyk and ahead of Robert Lewandowski. More talented Norwegian players were also establishing themselves across the Bundesliga and other top European leagues. The talent was never the biggest question. The challenge was turning that individual quality into the results needed to reach a major tournament, and for years, that final step remained just out of reach. For years, the story never seemed to change. One talented generation followed another. Qualification campaign after qualification campaign ended in disappointment, and Norwegian fans were left asking the same question. How could a country with so much football talent keep missing the world's biggest tournaments? Eventually, though, something shifted. The belief inside the squad became stronger, the results started matching the talent, and Erling Haaland became the face of that transformation. The road to the 2026 World Cup turned into one of the most impressive qualification campaigns in Norway's history. Drawn into a group with Italy, Israel, Estonia, and Moldova, many expected Italy to finish on top. Instead, Norway took control from the opening match and never looked back. They won all 8 games, collected the maximum 24 points, and scored an incredible 37 goals along the way. Their 11-1 victory over Moldova matched the biggest winning margin in UEFA's 2026 World Cup qualifying campaign and showed just how confident this team had become. At the center of that incredible run was Haaland. He scored 16 goals in 8 qualifying matches, matching Robert Lewandowski's record for the most goals in a single European World Cup qualifying campaign. Even more impressive, he found the net in every single game. Moldova, Estonia, Israel, and even Italy all struggled to stop him, with the Italian side conceding twice against the Norwegian striker during the campaign. If you're enjoying the video so far, make sure to subscribe to Pitch County for more football stories, analysis, and the biggest talking points from around the game. The defining moment of Norway's qualification journey came at the famous San Siro. More than 70,000 supporters filled the stadium as Italy fought to keep their hopes of automatic qualification alive. Norway knew a positive result would bring them within touching distance of the World Cup, and the pressure could not have been much higher. Every attack carried enormous weight, and the atmosphere reflected just how much was at stake for both nations. One detail often gets overlooked when people talk about Norway's rise. Haaland naturally grabs the headlines because of his incredible goal-scoring record, but this team did not reach the World Cup through one player alone. Norway's success came from a squad that finally started performing as a complete unit, with several key players stepping up when the biggest moments arrived. That was clear in the decisive match at the San Siro. Italy struck first, and the home crowd immediately sensed an opportunity. The pressure on Norway grew with every minute, but instead of falling apart, they responded. Antonio Nusa scored the equalizer, changing the mood of the match and proving that Norway's attack was far more than just Haaland. Martin Odegaard dictated the pace in midfield with his vision and composure. Alexander Sørloth gave Norway another powerful attacking option capable of troubling any defense. Jørgen Strand Larsen added valuable depth, while Nusa brought explosive speed, confidence, and the ability to beat defenders one-on-one. Together, they formed an attack with multiple threats instead of relying on a single star. That is what separates this version of Norway from the teams that came before it. For years, Haaland looked like one of the world's most dangerous forwards without a team capable of fully supporting him on the international stage. Now, the squad around him has developed into one that can compete with top nations, creating the platform needed to maximize his strengths. That journey led directly to Norway's opening match earlier this week at Boston Stadium, where nearly 3 decades of waiting finally came to an end. When the moment arrived, Haaland needed only 29 minutes to remind everyone why so many teams are now paying close attention to Norway's World Cup campaign. After waiting nearly 3 decades to return to football's biggest tournament, Norway finally stepped onto the World Cup stage again. The setting was Foxborough, Massachusetts, at Boston Stadium, where thousands of supporters watched a new chapter begin. For Erling Haaland, it was also a milestone, his first appearance at a World Cup and a chance to show why so many defenders struggle to contain him. It did not take long for him to make an impact. In the 29th minute, a loose ball bounced around inside the penalty area before falling perfectly into his path. Haaland reacted faster than everyone else, finishing from close range to give Norway a 1-0 lead. The goal itself was simple, but its meaning was much bigger. It marked Norway's first World Cup goal after a 28-year absence and immediately rewarded years of patience from the team's supporters. Iraq refused to back down. Ayman Hussein equalized with a header, bringing the score to 1-1 and shifting the momentum. Suddenly, the match became far more uncomfortable for Norway, and the pressure returned. Moments like that can completely change a tournament opener. Haaland, however, stayed alert. In the 42nd minute, Iraq's goalkeeper hesitated while dealing with a routine back pass. Sensing the opportunity, Haaland closed the space immediately. The goalkeeper's clearance struck the Norwegian striker and bounced into the net, restoring Norway's lead before halftime. It was another reminder that he thrives on tiny mistakes, often turning a single moment of uncertainty into a decisive goal. That instinct is one of his greatest strengths. He does not rely on endless opportunities or perfectly crafted attacks. Give him a brief opening, a loose touch, or a moment of hesitation, and he has the ability to punish it. In a tournament where matches are often decided by the smallest margins, that quality can make an enormous difference. After the opening round, Norway sat at the top of Group 1 on goal difference, level on points with France following their 3-1 victory over Senegal. With Senegal waiting next in New Jersey and France still ahead, the challenges were only becoming bigger. The knockout rounds remained the ultimate goal, and Haaland entered the tournament after another outstanding club season, scoring 27 Premier League goals and arriving in top form. Haaland arrived at the World Cup with the kind of numbers that demand attention. He finished the Premier League season as the Golden Boot winner, scored 38 goals in all competitions for Manchester City, and passed 150 goals for the club since joining in 2022. Add in a penalty conversion rate above 85%, and it is easy to understand why defenders treat every touch he gets inside the box as a major danger. Every World Cup is remembered for players who define the tournament. Diego Maradona inspired Argentina in 1986, Ronaldo starred for Brazil in 2002, Lionel Messi led Argentina to glory in 2022. As the 2026 competition unfolds, many supporters are wondering which player will leave the biggest mark this time. Before the tournament began, much of the attention focused on the traditional favorites such as Brazil, France, and Argentina. Norway rarely entered those conversations, despite bringing one of the world's most productive goal scorers into the competition. That lack of attention could work in their favor, especially if opponents underestimate how balanced this Norwegian squad has become around its biggest star. One match alone never tells the full story of a World Cup. Strong teams are judged over several games, especially once the knockout rounds begin. Still, Norway's opening performance offered an early reminder that they have the quality to challenge respected opponents if they continue playing with the same confidence and organization. As the tournament moves forward, every nation will be chasing the same dream of lifting the trophy. Norway has already shown that it belongs on this stage after waiting 28 years to return. Haaland also waited his entire career for this opportunity, and his opening performance suggested he is ready for the challenge. If Norway continues building on that momentum, opponents may soon find themselves preparing far more carefully for the team wearing red, white, and blue than they did before the tournament began. As Norway's World Cup journey continues, the biggest questions are only getting more interesting. Can this team keep surprising the football world? Can Haaland maintain this incredible form against even tougher opponents? Or will one of the tournament favorites stop this remarkable run before it goes any further? Share your thoughts in the comments and let everyone know how far you think Norway can go in this World Cup. Do you see them making a deep run, reaching the semifinals, or even competing for the trophy? We'd love to hear your predictions and read your take on everything that's happened so far. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like because it really helps the channel reach more football fans. Subscribe to Matchio and turn on notifications so you never miss our next upload. We cover the biggest football stories, unforgettable moments, rising stars, tactical breakdowns, and the trends shaping the future of the game. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon with another football story you won't want to miss.